the other day, and I was like, oh, they changed all of this. Is this what it's like for Hachi? So it must be very new then.
Yeah, it must be because a few weeks ago it wasn't like this.
Okay.
So yeah, they definitely moved some stuff around. Um, so we're going to try and do this the right way here. Last time I started recording and streaming about 15 minutes too late. We'd already started, and I went, "Oh shit, I forgot to click the button." So, we're active now. I'm gonna give a brief intro to all of you there out on YouTube or Twitch, all 27 people that watch our videos. Um, uh, we're on game session 2 of a scenario called White Hands and Red Skulls. Uh, Part of a campaign that I have mapped out. This is game 2. We played, or scenario 2, adventure 2. We played adventure 1 like a year ago. Um, and this is Conan Adventures in an Age Undreamed of by Modiphius, which unfortunately they don't make it anymore, but it's still the best Conan game in existence. So in the spirit of doing things right, no, no, O Prince, in the years between when the oceans drank Atlantis and the rise of the sons of Arius, there was an age undreamed of, where shining kingdoms lay spread across the world. And unto this Conan the Cimmerian, a reaver, a slayer, tread the jeweled thrones of the earth beneath his sandaled feet, and became king by his own hand. But he was not the only hero of this Hyperborean age. There were others, and their stories must also be told.
I love it.
Sordicius of Poitain, Ulrich the Gunderman, Zarkosa of Zamora, and Meleki the Asgardian are on a mission for the king into the frozen north, into Nordheim, to meet with Wulfhere Njordson and hope to gain his alliance between the Aesir and the kingdom of Aquilonia. And that is where we begin. You guys have ridden into the camp. There are about a dozen Aesir here, and the man named Wulfhere Njordson, a tall, golden-haired man with a short beard, has been he has come over to you, and you, of course, you guys are flying probably from one of Sordicius's lances. I imagine you're flying the standard of King Conan, and he looks all of you over, his eyes lingering on Maleki for a moment,
Mm,
and he actually turns and looks at Decius, because Decius is in full plate armor and the one actually flying the standard, and
Full Chad mode.
says, "Welcome, emissaries of King Conan. What brings you to the north?" He does speak Aquilonian, though it's a bit accented.
We seek audience with Wulfhere of the Aesir.
Well, you have found him. Dis, uh, dis, Dismount your horses. My men will attend to them. We can come speak by the fire.
Excellent.
uh, I think there's at some point Maleki releases her owl into the sky,
Mm,
uh,
very good.
rather than have someone manhandle her owl.
Is that a euphemism?
Before we dismount, how many How many people are here?
About a dozen.
Okay. What
And
what are they doing here? Like when we rolled up, what were they up to?
there were a few. There's a few men that are around the outside edge of the camp, and then there was a gathering in the middle. That's where Wulfhere came from, by a large bonfire. You know, right about here where I'm pinging the map. You guys see that, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yep.
But
We had
they're not waiting for us. They're doing something, right? Like we
correct.
happened upon them. So is this like a religious gathering? What is going on here?
Well, that's a really interesting question. Since you asked the question, why don't you make a lore test at difficulty 2? Um, and just so you guys know your situation, you are currently at 14 doom and 6 momentum.
That's
Okay.
not good.
14 2.
We're already
I only started with 12.
mostly dead.
Oh, jeez.
All right. What was it again that I was observation?
Lore test.
Lore, sorry. I wasn't prepared when you asked me.
Yeah,
Typical fashion.
no, it's okay. This
All
would
right.
be difficulty 2 for you because I imagine you don't probably know a whole lot about
Well,
this part of the
it
world.
just asked me how many dice. That's all. It didn't ask me difficulty.
Oh no, yeah, uh, your target number is 7. How did you? Oh, score 0 unsealed successes. So yeah, you just from a glance around, you have no idea. To describe the scene, you're in a wide clearing that has some natural rock, woods and trees to the north, and then you've got these standing stones arrayed around the area with carvings on them. Over in the northwest of the camp is this uh, what is clearly some sort of altar with steps that sweeping, curving steps that lead up to it on either side. But based on you have no knowledge of Aesir culture, so you certainly don't know what this place is or why they're here.
I mean, would I be able to roll for that too, just by being
You
bystander?
can if you like. Maleki probably would have the easiest way of knowing since she's from here.
Right.
Well, okay.
That's
Um,
my understanding. Do you want me to roll for that, or is that? How do you,
in your instance, I would consider this a 0 difficulty,
okay.
which means you can roll if you want to try to generate momentum, or you can just take the success.
Um. Yeah, we're gonna roll.
Okay. Now, that
All right.
also can create a
Oh yeah.
complication.
We'll need more. So was that 2 dice or what was that?
Yeah, it's always 2 dice unless you spend momentum to buy more. Target number is 11. You have 2 successes. You had a 0 difficulty, so that puts you up on 2 momentum. So
Okay.
you're up to 8. Um, so yeah, Maleki, you know exactly what this is. This is one of the Aesir's hallowed places, usually used for weddings of important individuals, jarls and chieftains, that type of thing.
So she turns to Sir Decius and she says, "You look confused, Sir Knight, like
Not
a
at all, my
fish out of
lady.
water."
Well, I haven't had time to attend to my hair properly. I feel slightly uneasy.
And she is like sort of like leans in a little bit and she says, "This is a place for weddings, a ritual, a ritual area we use for the nobility. Perhaps we have stumbled upon a ceremony."
Sir Decius looks around
Sacrifices.
for the bride.
Wulfhere speaks up, and he looks at you, Maleki, and says, "Absolutely, you are correct. So, were you raised an Aesir, or were you raised a Veneer?" And as he says that, he spits off to the side.
He and out of game here. He's a lord, correct?
Yeah, he's what we call a jarl, which is basically a major chieftain.
My jarl, I am Mileki Leplainen, half-blooded, daughter of Klaus, son of Jan. I am very proud to be a seer, raised a seer. Though my mother was taken as prize, I assure you my loyalty lies to the Aesir.
He kind of squints for a moment. He says, "Interesting, but yes, you have stumbled upon the time and place of my wedding.
Congratulations, my lord.
I await my bride Freya, a shield maiden of Jarl Harkonnen to the north. She is his daughter. We will wed and join our clans. I hope when this happens, the Aesir will unite under us."
All right, and so I think Maleki is going to try to uh, remain as low key here as possible, considering she's already drawn so much attention.
Yeah, and I think it's safe to say that some of these Aesir don't regard you as politely as Wulfhere is doing, if that makes
Right,
sense.
right. Well, that one guy had already,
Uh,
initially had given me grief.
that's right.
Hmm.
Called you half blood or something.
So I think she stays near to the group, probably. Yeah, just near to the boys, just so there's no trouble.
So as Wulfhere leads you to the fire towards the middle, he asks, "So,
Can I make a sorry to interrupt
no,
a
you're good. Go ahead. Go
frequency.
ahead."
Uh, Zarkosa he's paranoid by nature, but he also knows people don't like spellcasters and all that. He's got a pretty good lore score. Can I do a roll to see how hostile this group would be to me if they kind of found out what I do or who I am?
Um, yeah, I would let you do that. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, and I'm doing this also as a player because I'm like, oh shit, I'm kind of
Sure.
the little squishy guy here. Okay, so I'm going to do what would that be as far as
You just roll lore.
and 2 dice?
Yeah, unless you want to buy more.
Nah.
Two successes. So yeah, the Aesir do not trust spellcasters at all. Um, uh, they with the exception of a couple wise men or elders, they really don't have spellcasters, sorcerers in any way, shape, or form. The Veneer, who are the other northern race, are known to employ some sorcery, and this is something that also really turns the Aesir's stomach. So, yeah, they wouldn't regard sorcery too kindly as general rule.
Okay, so what I may do, let's see, we're right in the mix with everybody else, right? So
Yeah.
we would. Okay, so we can't have a discussion. Okay, I'll just make a side story for me in case anybody asks, and that was the purpose of that. So anyway, drive on. Thanks.
All right, no problem. As Wolfhere leads you to the warmth of the fire, as you near it, it pushes the cold away and makes the frozen north somewhat more comfortable, more palatable at least. He uh, he sits on a large stone and asks, "So, what does the King of Aquilonia have business here in the north?" I said that completely wrong, but you know what I meant.
Sure.
It's the translation.
That's right.
It's been a minute. I don't know if I remember exactly what the king wishes of us. What were we supposed to be doing with this?
That's fair. It has been a minute. So, this takes place right after the Hour of the Dragon, after Nemedia invaded and took over Aquilonia. The going story was Conan had been killed. Of course, Conan reemerged and pushed the Nemedians back, including killing the Acaronian sorcerer that they had resurrected. But he finds that Aquilonia's allies are thin. He mentioned that there's talk of civil war in Koth. He said the Cimmerians will not come to Aquilonia's aid, despite he himself being Cimmerian. So he sent you north because Wulfhere Njordson is the son and namesake of two different Aesir allies from Conan's youth, and he was hoping that you guys would be able to secure the Aesir's support for Aquilonia.
And support would mean,
An
I mean,
alliance, yeah,
an alliance. Okay, but there's no like active
correct,
battle yet that they need to be summoned to.
correct.
Okay.
So we'll say, our King Conan remembers the faith and the strength of his Aesir allies in days long gone, and he would seek to renew your friendship in the face of coming tribulation.
I honor King Conan, as did my father and my godfather, but I cannot promise him this now. The Aesir are splintered and scattered. Our clans do not war amongst themselves, but they do not unite either. Meanwhile, we continuously suffer Hyperborean slave raids. The Vanir are making inroads into our lands. Until we unite,
And-
we cannot begin to support King Conan.
We are but 4 of King Conan's swords, but if we can aid you, and thereby aid King Conan's cause, we will do so.
We shall see. I am waiting for Freya now. We are to be married, merging our two clans, and hopefully that will give enough impetus for the rest of the Aesir to unite behind us. But my mood grows dark because she is late.
Hint, hint, hint.
Well, in that case, in the interest of moving the plot forward, Sir Decius will say, we would be honored, Great Chief, if you will allow us under the banner of Conan to greet your bride's party and bring them safely hither.
I may take you up on that, good Sir Knight. Maleki, since you let your owl loose,
Yep.
would you please make a, let's see
Dive
here.
bomb run?
Yeah, I gotta remember how this works again with your owl. Doesn't your owl...
Yeah. All right. I got Mighty Bird. I think there might be a talent that I had intended to take that I haven't taken yet that gives me some advantage there.
Okay.
I think that was what we had talked about.
All right. I got
So I
you.
don't think there's a mechanical thing at this point, given
No, it does
talents
give
that I
you
have.
some sort of bonus on survival tests. But in this particular instance, this wouldn't be a survival test. So here's how we're going to handle this. Can you just let me pull the stat to the bird. Can you just roll 2d20 for me?
Sure.
What's going on with the music? The music keeps stopping and starting. All right.
Well, not great.
No, but it was good enough.
Okay.
It was good enough because the target number was 12, so that's a success. As Decius says this, you hear your owl, and it's coming closer. It's making a particular. I don't know much about owls. I hate to admit, it's making a particular noise that that she tends to make when she has spotted something.
Okay, and are we still in the presence of the Jarl?
You are.
Okay. Her eyes like sort of flit up, and she looks and sees if she can spot the owl, and then she like looks to the group and she says, "Raffenheider sees something, perhaps approaching."
the owls coming in from the north. They're can I get observation rolls?
Sure.
All right.
From
Everybody.
everybody? Okay.
Yep. Wow, look at that. 2 unskilled successes for Decius. Unskilled success. Wow, everybody's. Wow, look at you guys roll. That's amazing. You can hear in the distance the sound of horses' hooves coming from the north through the woods. You hear a shout of "to arms" from one of the pickets up to the north, and a rider comes into the clearing. He's an Aesir, and as he comes riding in, you can see he's got several arrows sticking out of his back.
Oh shit.
He falls off of his horse as it comes to a stop. Aesir are jumping to their feet, pulling weapons, as these guys come into the clearing from the north. They're carrying various weapons, whips, cudgels. One has a bow.
They don't look very friendly.
Ooh, these look like Hyperboreans.
Yes, you would definitely know these are Hyperboreans.
Okay.
Renowned for their slave raids into Asgard. Wulfhere shouts to arms, and who wants to go first? There's a lot more than these 4, by the way. There's a bunch of them flooding into the camp, and
Oh, shit.
Aesir jumping into the fight.
All right, so I think Mileki looks around, and everyone jumps to arms, and she like pulls an arrow out of her quiver and knocks it, and she's standing right next to Decius, and she like pulls back the bow, and like as she's holding it, she says, "You are quick to volunteer me, Sir Knight. I'll remind you, I was merely a guide for the trip here." And then she releases an arrow into one of these guys. Can I do minor action aim? Major action fire?
Is that I gotta remember this. I'm sorry, I hate doing this. So many actions. Minor action. Aiming is not.
That's not.
Yeah. And so your
Right.
minor action would actually be readying your bow.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yeah, we'll just take a shot then with the bow.
That's fine. Yeah. So make a ranged weapon attack.
Okay, with the hunting bow. How's this sheet work? I got to roll off the skill thing, right?
Yeah.
Ranged weapon.
You have 2 successes, which generates a point of momentum. Puts you guys up at 9.
Okay.
Go ahead and roll the damage on your bow, sir. All right. So you had a total of 3 damage.
3 damage?
With 1 effect. I don't think that bow has any effects. It does not.
It does not.
So he's got 1 armor. So he takes 2 damage. All right. Who wants to go next?
Are any of them in range?
They are. Well, they're all in like. What is this?
They're in a next zone over,
they're
right?
in the next zone over. Correct.
So that would be medium?
That would be. Well, technically, it would be. Technically, it would be short.
So what's close? Close is right
in the
next.
same zone.
Same zone, and then short is.
1 zone over.
And there are 2 zones over?
No, they're just 1 zone over because you guys are in this zone right
Oh,
here.
okay. I
You
see.
can
So
see
medium.
the guidelines, and then they're up by the trees.
Okay, and then medium would be 2 zones over? Is that how?
Correct.
Okay, cool. I don't know if there's a mechanic for this where I take a defensive posture. I'm not going to start throwing magic all around when I know everybody hates me if I throw magic all around. So
Sure.
I need to, is there like I don't know. I don't know the rules well enough if there's a way to do that.
Kind of. Are you talking about kind of like basically like a held action in case one of them comes into melee range of you or something like that?
No, not getting the spell ready, but taking a defensive posture. I,
Cower in fear.
yeah, cower in fear. Yeah, it's I don't know. I'm trying to think of the word for it, but
But to like take cover, or
yeah, like take cover, or I'm not going to stand out in the open and wait for one of these guys to club me. In other words, is there anything
I
like that
got
in
you.
the
Well, no,
mechanics?
you could use you've got these standing zones on the edge of your zone in the next zone. You could use your minor action to move into one of those zones, to then hide behind it.
Okay, they don't have ranged weapons on them,
One of
right?
them has a bow.
They do. Okay. I'm going to hold off on doing anything right now.
Okay, all right. So who wants to go?
Well, Ulrich, okay, moving is a minor action.
Correct, unless it's within the same zone. That's free.
Right, but moving one zone is a minor action, but also drawing a weapon is a minor action.
Correct.
So if I draw a weapon, then if I wanted to move, that would be basically use up my other action.
Correct, unless you spend momentum to take another action.
Well, and we have quite a bit of momentum.
You're at 9. Yep.
So, the momentum spend to take another action would be 2. All right.
feel free.
In Ulrich action, I'm going to spend 2 momentum so I can pull my weapon and move to engage with my two-handed sword.
Okay.
And that will allow me to use my primary action to attack the guy that's in front.
All right. So, like this guy right here.
Sure.
Okay. All right. All right. So it is a second purchased action. So your difficulty to hit is 2.
Okay.
You need 2 successes to hit. Just roll your melee weapons. You do have momentum if you want to buy additional dice. You have 7. Or you can just roll it. Up to you.
Okay, so... Alright, so there's my two-handed, so... I gotta get used to this character sheet again.
Yeah.
Where do I click on the...
Just click the melee weapon skill.
Right. Ugh,
Top right under agility.
there it is.
I had to look for it too, bro.
Yeah.
I don't remember either.
And 2 dice.
Yep. You scored a success, and you needed 2,
Okay.
so you missed. Who's next?
I guess it's Decius.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how to handle this because you said there's more coming, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to cut into a momentum, so I could like run over there, but I don't know. Are they? So the incoming wave is behind the wave that's in front of us.
Well, it's more of a theater of the mind situation. There's these
Sure.
4 that are specifically coming straight into the camp, but there's probably another 10 or 12 that are engaging with the Aesir.
I guess my question, let me try to paint what's in my head here for you, is I don't want to leave our spellcaster like undefended.
Oh, I got you.
Run over there to help Ulrich.
Yeah, there's nothing necessarily heading his way at this moment.
Okay, well, I will. It feels stupid because I don't know. So now we have 7 momentum.
You do.
What do you think? Should I spend 2 to try to make an attack, or should I
Sure.
just throw my body over there and let them take some
Kill
heat
them.
off?
Kill them all.
Go for it. Just
All right.
spend the momentum.
Lay waste to
will-
everything in your view.
I will attempt to lay waste to everything in my view.
Okay.
I
That's
will
what you
move
two
up.
do best.
Which one do you
Well,
want to go for?
Ulrich and Decius have stood side by side many times before.
The just so you know, I colored one red. That's the one that was shot by Maleki's arrow.
Okay. It looks like Ulrich's right flank. He's got 1, 2, 3. So I'll move to Ulrich's right.
Okay. So like right there.
Yes, and with a shout of for Conan, I will start swinging.
All right. So it's a melee attack. Difficulty is 2. And you have 2 successes. So you actually you have more than 2 successes. You've got 3 because one of those is critical success, which drives your momentum back up to 6. Roll your damage on your weapon, sir.
Yes, I think I had resolved to start using that sword of Acheron because it had. I'm just trying to get back on my train of thought here. I think because it had vicious and parry. Yeah, that's what I shall use.
All right. And you have rolled. Oh my god, is that 8 damage? 1 damage plus effect, 1. Oh my god. 1, 2, 3, 4 effects. That's a total of 12 damage.
Yeah, boy.
So.
Wish I understood this better. I don't quite know what's going on.
Well, the damage roll tells you how much base damage you had from the dice. And then if you hover, you see how it's got the red box around it? You hover over that, and it tells you the individual rolls. Each one that says plus effect triggers the vicious one, which vicious one does 1 point of damage per effect rolled, and you rolled 1, 2, 3, 4 effects, which added 4 additional damage.
Oh,
Wow.
good. So that sword is definitely tight when it comes to doing extra damage.
So tell me, how does this guy go down? Because you annihilated him.
Well, per Ulrich's request, I am turning the white of the northern snow into a crimson gorefest. No, just your typical downward strike, splitting his helm in twain, and scattering the contents of his skull.
Nice. Love it.
Typical instant kill.
Yeah.
You got some on me.
Oh, jibs! I'm sorry for the jibs.
So Zarkosa, you are
Yeah.
the only PC that has not acted.
Yeah, it took me a while to explore the character sheet again. So I was looking for something that may not out me as a sorcerer, and I don't know if these two might fit that bill, but I have Steely Glare and Sorceress Might.
The eyeliner in your character's portrait might
know.
out you. I'm not sure.
Well, the Sorceress Might, you can only use that in the same scene where you have cast a spell.
Okay.
But the Steely Glare you can do. It's a mental attack. You just, to use it, you pick your target and make a persuade roll.
It's got it's the damage dice there. So persuade is what activates that, right?
Correct,
And that's under personality. I think it's pretty good persuade. Well, 10 target.
And then which target do you want to?
The guy that was hit with the arrow.
Okay, very good.
All right, so rolling persuade, and so does this cost something?
No.
Oh, it doesn't.
It's
Okay.
standard action.
Standard action. So persuade. Here we go.
Oh, you had 0 successes and created a complication.
Really? It says
How does that work?
I had an unskilled success. No.
What's that?
It says I had an unskilled success.
No, you had
0. Oh, yeah, because man, and I could. Okay, I better stay out of this.
I am going to make very good use of that complication, and basically immediately convert it into Doom, and immediately convert it into another Hyperborean that comes out of the trees.
Oh, God damn.
He cannot act this turn. I'm basically making it his turn is appearing.
Okay. Well,
So
you're welcome, guys. Another baddie.
More XP.
More meat for the grinder.
yeah, that's right. I think. All right, I'm going to make a d6 roll here. I'm going to make 3d6 actually. And that's what I thought was going to happen. So this guy who was shot by Maleki's arrow comes up and attacks Ulrich with his cudgel and gets a critical success.
Oh no.
Which just means I gain a point of momentum, which he just funnels into damage. He hits you with his cudgel, which has a 5 damage dice plus 1 for the momentum, makes 6. It does have stun and knockdown. He does 1, 2, 3, 4 damage with an effect. Can someone please tell me what's number 13 on the damage location chart?
Torso.
Torso. Do you have armor on your torso?
2.
2. Alright, so you only take 2 damage from the attack. But it knocked you down and stunned you. So you cannot act next round.
Damn, that move hit hard.
Fuck.
Well, their weapons aren't designed to do a lot of damage. They're designed to incapacitate, as you would probably guess. The other two come right at Decius because he is clearly the much more dangerous of the two of you. The first attacks you with a cudgel, Decius, and he does generate a hit. Now, Decius, don't you have like 400 different ways you can parry?
There are quite a few. Yes, sir.
So, unless I'm mistaken, you have... Oh man, you didn't even have to roll your no mercy damage. Or your blood on steel. You just annihilated that poor bastard. I'm sorry. You have, don't you have a parry talent called deflection?
Yes. I
Okay,
do.
so the way parry works, guys, is you can attempt to parry pretty much any melee attack with a melee weapon. But to do it adds doom to my doom pool, unless you have something that gives you parry. He has a parry talent, which lets him parry one attack for free. His Aquilonia short sword also has parry on it, which lets him parry an attack for free. So Decius has the ability to parry multiple attacks without adding to doom. So Decius, if you would like to parry that cudgel attack with your sword, you will make a parry roll, which is under coordination, I believe.
Okay.
And you
I see
need
it.
1 success.
All right. It says dice 2. Is that correct?
Yeah, unless you want to buy more with momentum. You have 6.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
You have 2 successes, so you not only parry the attack, but you gain a point of momentum.
Yes. Excellent.
The second guy is going to attack you also with this cudgel. How many successes does he have? 1 second. He has... Where's that? There it is. Okay, he had 2 successes. So you can use another one of your free parries if you like. You need 2 successes to block this attack.
Okay.
Okay, fine. That way. Jesus.
Well, that sir in front of Decius's name is not
That's right.
didn't come without great training and sacrifice.
That's right. All right. We are on the next round. PCs get to go first, unless I spend Doom to take the initiative, which I'm not going to do. What do you guys want to do?
Okay. Anyone want to take an action before Maleki, or?
Yes.
Yes,
if
you do?
don't mind. Yes, I
Yeah,
would
go
like
for it.
to try to lighten the odds here on anybody who's left. Maybe you can shoot them with your arrows.
Yeah.
All right, so that one that's in front of Ulrich,
That's wounded.
yeah,
Yep.
I think we need to get rid of him so he stops beating on Ulrich.
Okay. All right. So make your melee attack using the Aquilonia short sword.
Yep.
Very good. You have a success, which is all you need. He does not have a weapon with the parry ability, so roll your damage, sir. You only had 3 damage with no, with no effects. So let's talk about that for a second.
Yeah, because I've got a couple of skills here that might play into this, right? Is that where you're going with this?
Correct. You have
Okay.
a talent. Don't you have a talent called? You have a talent called No Mercy.
No Mercy, and also Blood on Steel looks like it might have some effect too.
Yeah.
It costs momentum.
It does cost momentum, but it adds Vicious 1 to any weapon. And if that weapon already has Vicious 1, it goes up by another.
Well, that would not work, right? Because there's no effects in this roll, so that would be useless, right?
That would theoretically be useless, but because you have No Mercy, Rank 1, and Blood on Steel, you can re-roll 2 of those damage dice that did nothing.
So how would I do that? Using the
Just roll 2 dice 6 in the normal roller.
Oh, okay. Just a sec. All right, D6 2.
All right. Well, you picked up 1 more damage, so you did a total of 4 damage to him.
All right. Well, that's better than nothing.
It's better than nothing.
And he was already wounded from Maleki, I believe.
He was. All right. Do you want to let somebody else go, or did you want to spend 2 momentum to act again?
Well, team, what do you think? Ulrich can't move this turn, so he's sort of vulnerable.
Yeah, I mean, this would be the time to leverage that.
Agree.
Go for it.
Okay.
Okay, in that case.
All right. So your melee attack is now difficulty 2.
Okay, but that doesn't change. There's nothing I can do on my sheet to incorporate that. It's just.
No, I just interpret the results from the roll.
Right. Okay.
So
Okay,
that puts
so-
you at 5 momentum, unless you wanted to spend more for additional dice.
No,
Okay.
I think I'll just roll straight.
All right. You've got a pretty good melee, so. And you had 2 successes. You hit attacking the same guy, I reasonably assume.
Yes.
So roll your damage.
Sorry, this character sheet is so big. I keep having to open and close it because I want to see the battle map. And okay, sorry, it takes me just 1 second.
All right. So you did 5 damage with 3 effects, which actually gets you to 8 damage. And you don't even need to roll your No Mercy at that point, because he could only take 4 before taking a wound, and because you did more than 5 with 1 hit, he took a 2nd wound automatically, so he is out. So Mr. Red is deleted.
He's
Nice.
red, all right.
Theseus is creating a masterpiece in the snow.
You got some more on me.
Who wants to go next? We got Maleki and Zarkosa.
So,
The sounds of battle ring out through the air as the Aesir fight the Hyperboreans.
the zones are abstract, right? So, by this map, like, there's going to be no danger of me hitting either of these.
No, not really.
Was-
If you were to take an arrow shot, a missile shot, a ranged attack. That's what I'm trying to say. And you were to miss, it wouldn't be a problem. But if you rolled a complication on that miss, I could make your arrow hit a friendly target.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, they could take it. All right. So, Mileki draws back another arrow, and she sort of barks over to Zarkosa, and she says, "Get behind me! Get behind me!" And she looses an arrow. She has the marksman talent, which allows her to take a minor action to aim, I believe, or
Yeah.
one additional momentum.
Gives you a bonus. Doesn't it give you a bonus D20 or something?
Yeah, it gives me a bonus d20. Yeah. So since the bow's already out, unless talking takes
No,
something
talking's
for
a
me.
free action unless you're like giving a command.
Okay. And she's just going to take a shot. She's going to try to shoot, effectively the one that's in front of Ulrich.
Okay. Mr. Yellow.
Yes, Mr. Yellow.
We're going with Reservoir Dog names now.
So do I add that to my dice pool then? Is that
Correct.
dice 3 is correct effectively? Okay. All right. Here we go.
3 successes, generating 2 momentum, putting you guys up to 7.
Bam.
Roll your damage on your bow, please.
Okay. And okay. damage on the bow. Hunting bow, here comes.
Oh, we did that wrong. I'm sorry. It just gives you a bonus momentum, but that's fine. We'll fix it next time. No big deal.
Okay, I apologize for that.
Oh no, that's my fault as much. So you did 3 damage. Your hunting bow has no effects. All right, so you did 3 damage to Mr. Yellow. And there's one thing I want to remind myself of really quickly. Oh, you know what? I've got the player's guide open on my PDF.
I just love that she's like needling these guys for like minor damage, and then these guys are just like lawnmowers, just chewing through everybody.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Okay, so this is where I got confused. Your marksman talent gives you a bonus momentum on the attack, no matter what. So, like, even if you miss, you gain a point of momentum. Okay. What I was thinking about was the volley ability that your bow has. If you spend one of your loads, it adds the bonus d20 to the attack and +1 point to the damage dice.
I see. Okay.
So that's fine. So I got my wires crossed. That's my fault.
I'm gonna start blowing loads here, I think, after this.
That was I can't believe I just said that. That was awful.
I'm glad I'm a whole zone away from you.
I'm long range, baby.
All right. Zarkosa,
Yeah, I'm gonna. I'm still behind Maleki, but I am going to draw my sling out.
Okay. Minor action. Draw your sling. Perfect.
And it's got a volley quality. I don't know what that means.
The volley quality. You have 2 loads on your sling. So the volley quality, what that does is if you use it, it gives you a bonus d20 on your to hit roll and gives you a bonus die on your damage.
Oh, damn. That's pretty good. But it says close range, so I guess everybody's out of range, right?
It is a close range weapon. Yeah, so you have to be in the same zone.
All right. Well, despite my failure last time, I need to contribute to the fight, so I'll try the Steely Glare again.
Okay. On yellow, pink, or green?
Who's the weakest?
Yellow.
Yellow.
I wish you would move the zone.
Yeah,
Just the humor of get behind me, and then you run into battle.
I know. I thought about it. All right, so this is, again, remind me the...
Persuade? It's a persuade attack, correct.
Persuade, right. I don't know why I only have a target 9 or a target 10 on that, but okay.
Well, it's basically a free attack that any...
That's true, yeah.
So, you had a success.
Excellent.
So
no complications.
You can roll your Steely Glare damage.
All right. Blue Steel.
Wow, that's impressive. You did 4 damage.
Wow.
Nice.
All right.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that was
+1 eyeliner of 3 gaze damage.
Zarkotha ducks back behind Maleki and fixes the eyeliner to make sure it works just as well next time.
That's right. You guys have 7 momentum if anybody wants to take an additional action before my guys go.
Yeah, what do you guys think about another volley here?
Go for it.
Probably a good idea.
Yep.
All right. Yeah.
So spend 2 momentum. Okay.
And this time I'm going to put a volley into Mr.
Yellow.
Yeah.
All right. So reduce your load by 1.
All right. I'm going to need to hydrate. All right.
God.
And then here
Like
we
he has
go.
a basket of limes
Yeah, and then make sure you
that she sucks on between combat rounds.
range attack.
All right. To the dice.
Right.
Yeah.
3 successes, and that's wrong. It's actually 4 because one of those was a critical success. It was difficulty 2 because it's your second attack, which makes your momentum go up to 7.
Okay.
So you hit. Also, something else. Don't forget on your momentum spends. You guys can spend momentum to do like additional damage dice, to reroll damage dice, stuff like that. So we can talk about that. You get 1 bonus damage die on this because of your volley attack.
Okay.
Now, does it give you the option for additional dice when you click that damage dice button?
It does not. I
It
think
does
it's just
not.
a yeah.
All right. So we'll have to handle that separately. That's fine.
But I just applied 4 damage of load to the head.
Yeah.
Sounds like.
Yeah. All right. So we'll just handle that individually.
Okay.
All right. So since I mentioned that mechanic, you guys do have 7 momentum. If you wanted to add additional damage dice, it costs 1 per momentum or 1 momentum per die, and you can do it up to 3. If that's of any interest to the party.
Say that again. You can spend.
You can spend momentum to buy additional damage dice. It's
Okay.
1 die per momentum spent up to 3.
How
Guys,
close
yeah.
is this guy to death?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I don't know that we have any way to gauge that. You know.
Yeah, I don't know either. But he's been hit twice, right?
He's been hit twice, and he's bleeding, but he doesn't seem overly hurt.
Maybe save the momentum, I'm thinking.
Yeah. All right. We'll save it.
All
We'll
right,
just go with
so
what we got.
yeah, go ahead and roll your damage dice on your hunting bow, and
Okay.
then roll an additional d6 just so it's dice.
Okay. Sorry. This roll 20 is a little slow when
That's okay.
I'm switching between map and whatnot. All right.
It's easy for me. I have 2 monitors. So you've got 3 damage, and then roll an additional d6 off the die roller.
All right.
No damage there. So you did 3 to him. He's got 2 arrows sticking out of his leather armor.
Wow.
He's still up and moving. You guys have managed to not hit him particularly hard with any one attack.
I was gonna say,
but
he's
been
just scratched.
poked. All right, so unless nobody else wants to act, my turn.
Sure.
All right. I think Greenie moves up to there. He is going to attack Ulrich with a whip.
Oh shit.
That attack hits with a
What a
bonus
dick move.
success. So he
Whipping
is.
a guy while he's down like that. it's a total dick move.
It is a
It is a
dick
dick
move.
Hyperboreans.
Hyperboreans, they're all dicks.
What's the D20? What's number 1 on the chart?
Head.
Head. All right.
Oh
So
no.
this whip.
Oh, come on.
Do you have armor on your head, Ulrich?
2.
2. So this whip, it snaps and it wraps around your neck, and you take 6 damage minus your armor, so you take 4.
Ow.
And you are considered grappled. You cannot act until you get this thing off from around your neck.
Man, you're just getting beat.
Jesus, they got it out for Ulrich, man.
Yellow is going to attack Decius. He had a critical hit as well as a complication. All right, well, I know how I'm going to handle that, but give me 1 second here. Damage from the cudgel. He had a critical hit, so he's going to roll 6 dice. You got to be kidding me. Decius, do you have armor anywhere on your body that's less than 3?
Less than 3?
Yeah. No.
No.
Okay. So you don't even need to parry your attack at this attack. What's a number 14 on the to hit chart?
Torso.
So he swings his cudgel right at you, and it just caroms off your chest completely, and his wooden cudgel shatters.
Oh,
Nice.
That went well. All right. Pink is going to attack Decius. He has a successful hit.
I mean, that makes sense if you think about it. They're trying to cudgel a guy wearing steel armor, so
No
it'd
doubt.
be kind of hard to do.
Now
You could do it. But
this hit is going to do damage. So if you want to try to parry that attack, you're welcome. to
sure,
make
I'll
your
give it a
parry.
shot. See if I get lucky again.
One success. You parry his attack. Knock his cudgel away with your Aquilonia sword. Wow. This is not going well for the bad guys here. All right. I am.
Depends on your point of view.
Yeah, that's right. I am
Good one.
going to spend 2 doom to take the initiative. Actually, I'm going to spend 3 doom to take the initiative because I have 3 bad guys.
Boo!
Bad guy number 1. Well, that sucked. Bad guy number 1 starts to move away with his.
Is that the green guy?
That's the green guy with his
Trying
whip.
to drag Ulrich?
Yeah, with his whip wrapped around Ulrich's neck. He starts to move away, but he does not disengage properly. Decius, you get a free attack on him.
He's not been hit before, right?
He has
He's
not.
fresh. May I target his whip? Just cut that bitch in half?
Ooh, I like it. Yeah, I'll let you do that.
It's a little cinematic, you know?
Yeah,
I probably won't kill this guy.
make a melee attack. Yeah, no problem. Gaining a point of momentum in the process. Go ahead and the odds that this doesn't happen is very unlikely. Go ahead and roll damage.
Could roll all 4s.
I should have hit the guy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You hack right through his leather whip. No problem whatsoever.
All right.
Yellow
No.
is
Now
going to.
Ulrich can move, right?
Yeah. He's ungrappled by definition. Yellow attacks Decius and he hits. Let's see here. Did he have 2 successes? No, he just had 1. This is going to do some damage to you if you want to attempt to parry.
Yes, but I think... well, it doesn't matter where it comes from, right? Whether it's this short sword, because I parried once this round already. Or is this
We're
a
on
new
we're on
round
the next
altogether?
round, yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, here we go.
Success, you parry the attack. God,
Man, this is Decius' finest hour.
dude, he's impossible.
He's rolling
to
like a
kill.
champ. I don't want to talk about it because I'm going to screw it up.
Pinky hits you. Man, you alright?
Well, I thought I hit mute and I hit unmute.
It's okay.
2 weeks of bronchitis I'm dealing with, so I
Alright,
apologize.
Decius, make your second parry attempt because he's about to club you with that thing. No successes with a
See,
complication.
yeah, I talked about it.
Yeah, I'm sorry, that's my fault. So this is 1, 2, 3, 5 damage to the number 4. What's number 4?
Number 4 is my right arm.
Your right arm. How much armor do you have there? 3? I missed that.
I have 4. Can you hear me? Okay.
Oh yeah, I can now. You have 4 armor. Good God Almighty. Okay. All right. So your armor absorbs 4. You take 1 point of damage. More importantly, the impact from the blow knocks you to the ground and stuns you.
Okay.
So you're.
So what do I do here? How do I mark this off my character sheet? Would you mind reminding me real quick?
Yeah. It's where's that?
Is it just minus? You just hit vigor next to under physical?
Correct.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
You bet. How much damage have you taken? Oh, I'm looking at Ulrich. I'm looking at the wrong character sheet. Sorry. All right. Very good. Very good. That, of course, deprives you of your action for this round. Who wants to go, PCs?
Taking a shot, or wait, no. I feel like Jim hasn't gone.
None of the 3 of you.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a new round, so everybody gets to go except for me.
Oh, gotcha.
I'll hold until all the big hitters go, and then I'll
All right.
go
Well,
right after that.
Ulrich, I can stand up, right?
Yeah, I believe standing is a minor action.
Okay. And I'll attack this knucklehead right in front of me.
Green.
My Hold on a second. I gotta.
The scrap of whip still around you.
Green. Yeah, green's got a piece of whip hanging out. Well, yellow's
wounded.
been wounded. Now, green whipped me. I'm gonna attack him with my two-handed sword.
Okay.
Seems only just.
All right, let me pull up my sheet. I just like you guys. I had to put my sheet away so I could see the map.
Yeah, that's my problem too. Gotta get 2 monitors.
I'm a big fan of 2 monitors, let me tell you. What? Oh, you rolled an 18 to 16. You missed.
Holy mackerel!
Oh, where are the
Good
gods?
lord.
Did you want to spend 2 momentum to act again? You
Yeah.
have 8.
Yes.
Okay, the difficulty does go up to 2. It should be easy for Ulrich. It should be.
Jinxing everybody.
I know. Alright. He had 2 successes and 1 was a critical success, so it's actually 3, so you're at 7 momentum. Alright, so you, sir, get to roll your damage dice. Now, what does a two-handed sword got? Vicious 1?
It's got vicious 1. Yeah, it's got vicious 1, and it does damage of 5. And then I'm looking.
I think you have blood on steel. You could spend 1 momentum to make your vicious go up to 2.
I'm back where I was. I didn't update my sheet, but yes, I have blood on steel, but I didn't update my sheet. That I did that the last time too. Sorry about that. There it is.
Yeah.
Okay, I couldn't find it. I did update my sheet, so that blood on steel adds 1. And then okay, we'll just see if we do a wound, because I have killing strike, so if I get 1 wound, I deal an additional. Okay,
Right.
So there's nothing for me to do but roll the weapon, and then we'll figure it out. Okay.
Right, unless you want to go ahead. You have to announce if you want to spend the momentum to up your vicious to 2 with blood on steel.
This guy, has he been injured? I don't think so. Green?
Attacking green? No, he has not been injured.
Yeah, but I just spent 2 momentum, so I'm not going to do that.
Okay, all right. Go ahead and make your roll.
We still have more people to fight, so
Yeah, roll your damage dice, sir. You rolled 7 damage with 3 effects, which gets 3 more points of damage from vicious, which is 10. His armor is 1, which means he takes 9 damage. He takes a wound because you did more than 5 with a hit, and because of your killing strike, he takes a 2nd wound. So how does Ulrich cleave this guy?
Oh.
in typical fashion, he swings with an overhead blow, strikes right through from the top of his head all the way past his crotch and splits him completely in half. And he screams to Maleki, "That's how you deal with those who would attack."
And Maleki looks over at Zarkosa. What did he say?
"I will do the same to anyone who insults you again
Oh.
Ooh.
for being a half-blood. I will literally make them half of what they were."
Ooh. She fans herself.
Yeah. Steamy.
So does Theseus. Oh my.
All right. Who's going next?
Am I left? I think so.
Maleki and Zarkosa both.
I'll wait for Maleki to go.
Okay. Well, she
Yellow's
Is it
the one
dramatic?
you've been sticking arrows into, so you know.
Dramatically pauses for a second to blink, and then knocks another arrow and fires into the one that into yellow again.
All right. Is this another volley attack?
Nah, this will just be.
Just a regular attack. All right.
Yeah, we're mopping these guys up at this point. Also, I
6
don't think
more
it really-
appear. No, I'm kidding.
That's why I'm holding on to my loads. Where is this? Oh, here it is. All right.
It says 2 successes, but it's actually 3 because you had a critical in there. So
Wow.
that puts you guys up to 9 freaking momentum. You are welcome. You rolled your damage. You did 4 damage, and he has 1 armor, which will make 3. You do have 9 momentum if you wanted to spend 1 to reroll your 2 dice that didn't do damage.
You know what's interesting about that is I actually have a talent that lets me do that. I think
Oh, do you?
at least once for free. Scrolling through here. When making an attack with a ranged weapon, you may re-roll a number of damage dice
Oh, yeah.
equal to the number of ranged
Yeah,
weapon
it's the,
talents.
it's the ranged version of No Mercy for melee. And
Oh
you have
shit!
2
Actually, I have multiple ranged weapon talents.
Yeah, you do. So you can re-roll. You have 2, so you can re-roll the 2 dice that didn't do damage.
Okay.
Alright, we got to remember that in the future because I know you had dice that didn't do damage before.
2d6 basically.
Yeah, just roll 2d6. Makes it easy.
Cool. All right.
That's a good one.
You did 3 more damage, which gives you enough damage to cause a wound with 1 hit. It also knocked his vigor down below 0, which does a second wound. How does Yellow
shit.
die?
Ooh. So he's got like arrows sticking all out of him or whatever, and she fires another arrow, and it splits another arrow and plunges into his chest.
Nice.
Ooh, a Robin Hood shot.
Robin Hood.
Very good.
All right. 9 momentum in case Maleki wants to go a second time, or we can move to Sarkoza.
Just move to Zarkosa.
Okay.
Oh, you want to unleash the steely glare again? Well, it's coming
Use
at
momentum. Kill him.
you. Yeah, I don't. How would momentum buff that up?
You can, if your attack is successful, you could spend 3 momentum, up to 3 momentum to gain up to 3 damage dice. Or you can spend momentum.
Actually, you know what?
You can
Hold on
spend
a second.
momentum for more to hit dice too.
I don't think we should have been using this this spell. I keep reading M as medium instead of medium range instead of melee range, which I think it means.
Yeah, on a melee weapon, absolutely.
But only on a melee weapon?
Yeah, let's see here.
Because Steely Glare has an M, which I interpreted as medium.
Oh no, that's medium range. That's definitely medium range.
Because they're the same type. Oh, I see. It's a. Oh no. All right. I don't know. Okay, whatever. You're allowing it, so let's do it.
Yeah.
And you said momentum would do what to that?
You can spend 2 momentum to gain additional attack dice, which increases your chance of hit or gaining additional momentum. Or after the to hit roll, you can spend up to 3 momentum to gain up to 3 damage dice.
I see. All right. Well, I'm going to do a regular roll here, I think.
Okay. 2 successes, which gains you a point of momentum anyway. You are at 10 momentum.
And can I spend momentum to increase my damage then?
Yeah, you can
After the fact?
can buy 1 damage die per momentum up to a max of 3.
Okay, so I'll just do 2. He's been hit a couple times already, right?
He has not been hit at all.
Oh, well, I'll just do 2.
Okay. All right, so that drops you to 8 momentum. So go ahead and roll the damage dice on the attack, and then you'll have to roll 2d6 separately.
Okay, so yeah, Steely Glare. And
3 damage. Yeah.
and 2d6.
Yep.
D6.
Wow, 5 damage. And
Nice.
He has no courage, so he can't soak any of that. He has a mental trauma.
Oh,
Ooh, the best kind.
yeah, excellent.
Job security.
All right. Wow.
You've confused him with your metrosexuality to the point that
Yeah,
he snaps.
doesn't know where to look anymore.
It's like, I'm attracted to you, but I shouldn't be. Oh, God.
Um, the sounds of battle are dying off. It has definitely turned. It has definitely turned in favor of the Aesir. Mr. Pink realizes he's in a bad situation as the rest, his remaining cohorts are running away. But I'm not going to spend doom to let him go first, so you guys can act.
Ooh. I think
Well,
Maleki's gonna like watch and see what happens, have an arrow knocked, and let the boys have a go before she fires.
So that's the
Oh.
guy right next to me?
Yep.
Oh, well.
and he's right next to me too, right?
Yeah, you're in the same zone.
Well,
Oh, okay.
Ulrich is going to turn and look at Zarkosa and just kind of raise his shoulders like, duh? and watch Zarkosa.
Are you saying you want me to go?
Yeah, well, you laid the hurt on him. You should have a chance to finish him before we jump in.
All right.
It's an
All
honor
right.
thing.
Here it goes.
Sarkosa removes his sunglasses and gives him a long, hard look.
Walks 3 steps forward and lowers his head up just a little bit. And rolls glare. Oh, nope, that's the damage.
Yep.
Careful, don't point that at me.
Yeah. All right. So,
Oh, you meant the steely glare. Okay.
yeah, Steely Glare. Yeah.
The
Unfortunately,
gaze with a capital
Yeah.
G.
You did
I
not
did.
succeed.
I did not succeed, so, but no complications,
No.
right? No, okay. So he puts his sunglasses back on and goes back behind
The gazer beam.
Oh my god.
Oh, God, I'm gonna have a coughing fit here. Hold on.
Good thing no one can send in letters.
That's right.
Okay. All right. Who's gonna go?
Well, if nobody's going to jump on it, I will definitely go.
All right.
All about killing this guy. Come here, Pinky.
2 successes gaining momentum would put you at 9. Go ahead and you can roll your damage. You do have 9 momentum. Wow.
Oh, look at that.
6 damage with 2 effects makes 8.
Holy mackerel.
Wow. Wow. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to make a call for you. Do you have blood on steel? The talent blood on steel.
I believe I do. Let me just make sure. Yes, I do. Blood on steel.
All right. I'm just going to burn a point of bleed for you to kill this guy.
Thanks.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, I enjoyed that.
Well.
You got some more of him on me.
Hey, you split a guy in half. I'm pretty sure I'm covered in it too.
But this was a new tunic.
We got to come up with a name for that move too, because Ulrich's done that many times before. We need a name for that.
Yeah, it is his signature move.
From the picture, I don't know if Ulrich is wearing a tunic. Who can tell?
No, he's not.
Though in
Well,
this,
he's wearing armor, so he's got to clean his armor.
He looks like that one brother Skib if he was like on the juice for a few years.
Yeah.
Staying alive, staying alive.
as the last few Hyperboreans run off into the woods, you survey the area around you.
Oh, Ulrich looks around. Does he? He's looking at. Oh crap! I've already. These guys are Aesir.
The guys you're with are Aesir, correct?
I'm looking around for the guy who insulted Maleki. Is he still alive?
No, he's dead.
Oh, too bad.
Such a shame.
You guys down with a 5-minute break for bio?
Yeah, we can do that.
Sure.
Cool, thanks, boys.
Cool.
Back in 5.
back.
Okay, I'm back.
I
Hachi,
yeah,
oh,
go ahead.
good.
No, go ahead.
Meant to ask you. So I was going to a con here coming up in October, and I was going to play some BattleTech Alpha Strike. I was looking through some of the rules and blah blah blah, and so there is a tank called the Hachiman, and I'm wondering, is that where you got your username?
No, I've been using Hachiman ever since the ever since actually it's funny. I've been using Hachiman ever since a game called Mech Commander made by Microprose came out, and it was real-time strategy BattleTech back in the 90s. But Hachiman is the Japanese Shinto god of war.
Oh, cool. I did not know that.
Yeah, so as a result, in a lot of games, you see a lot of different mechs or tanks that are, called Hachiman or something along those lines.
Very cool.
So, um, yeah, so I had you guys fight the toughened versions of the Hyperborean slave takers because, frankly, there's not much point throwing minions up against you guys unless I throw like 30 of them. Because the minions have half the amount of vigor and and only can take one wound. I mean, you guys would look at them funny and they would die, quite literally.
Interesting. Well, I get the sense from the game that you carve through minions quite easily, but then the big boys are problematic.
Yeah. If you ever want to know exactly how problematic, let me see here. Let me go to this and let me go to that. Um,
They're so problematic that Theseus got beaten to a pulp, like one wound away from death or something.
Holy shit.
So compare that with this fight we just had.
oh yeah, I'm going to find it here for you. Let's see here. I don't need sound. Did we play that in one adventure? I don't think we did. In all melee talents. That.
Right.
Yeah, I don't
Well,
believe
I
it
just
was one.
assumed.
Yeah.
Don't think so.
So that's my question.
I'm trying to find the YouTube video view full playlist. Oh, there we go. Part 2. There it is. There it is right there.
That's the one I need to
Just
watch.
kind of play the part where we're screaming and begging for mercy.
Yeah. I'm just gonna link it in here. You'll have to go towards the end. You'll have to go towards the end. It's where the Blood Defiler demon pops up.
Oh shit. Okay.
Let's see here. Let's see if I can track it down real quick. Is everybody here?
I'm here.
I'm here.
Okay.
I'm here.
I think we're all.
I'm here too.
Let's see. Okay, perfect. Well, let me see if I can find this real quick for Kyle.
All right. As you research that and post me the link, I get the sense that like after this battle has like start to die out or whatever, the group is sort of like regathering, and Ulrich is like standing over the body of the guy that insulted me, and like Maleki, you hear the crunch of the snow as like she comes up and like beside Ulrich, who I imagine is like looking down at this guy. She like reaches out an arm and her huge owl comes swoops down and like lands on her arm.
Nice.
And there's like a moment of quiet, and she without looking at Ulrich, she's like looking at this guy. She says, "You honor me by defending me. The knight would volunteer my services to come with your group when I have already fulfilled my charge. But you amuse me, and I would uh, lend you my bow if you would have it."
Bow chicken bow wow. Oh, sorry.
We would all be very honored if you would go with us on this mission.
And she
I'm
nods.
I'm
So,
impressed by your capabilities, and this one had no right to impugn your heritage.
and she turns and looks at him and doesn't say anything, but feels very. I don't know. It's an unusual group with that has treated her in an unusually friendly way. So she's just kind of taking that in.
The the link's there in chat, and
Hmm.
it starts around 3:14 in. That game was about 4 hours, but if you go to about the 3:14 mark, the whole last part's that final battle, and you can see what fighting a big bad in Conan does. Um,
Gotcha. I've
A lot
got it
of
in the other tab.
crying and whimpering.
Surveying the battlefield, there are dead Hyperboreans everywhere. They're wearing a variety of light armor, mostly leather. Um, all of them marked with their tunics or armor are all marked with a blood red skull that's somewhere on their body. Um, there's also a number of dead Aesir in the area. Uh, you see Wolf here is off to one side. He is on the ground with an arrow in his belly. He's got two of his Aesir around him.
For the
Well, that
record,
sucks.
it wasn't me.
Is he dying?
he he looks up at you and he says, I am wounded." One of his Northmen says in very broken Aquilonian, uh, "He will recover, but we cannot move him now."
I take it that these were not invited to the wedding.
Wolf Wolf here shakes his head. He says, "No, Hyperborean slavers." Uh,
What of your bride?
he lifts a finger and he points at the dead Asir who had ridden into the clearing and fell off his horse. Um, he says, "That man was one of Freya's. Go find her. Bring her back to me. Conan will have his alliance."
Excellent. Maliki,
Yes.
how is your tracking skill?
Huh. Quite good, I imagine.
"I
Good.
am excellent, I think."
Let me check my character sheet.
I have no idea if that's true, but I'm going to act like it is.
Oh, I love role playing game tropes. They're the best.
Yeah.
I mean, my survival is pretty good.
Yeah, actually,
I have a 13.
your
Yeah.
I don't. I'm just saying it as a reply when
That's
somebody in
right.
real life asks you, "How are you with this?" 13 out of 20.
Actually, you're perfect for this situation because if you were to use your owl to do tracking, which would be either survival or observation, you can make an argument for either. Your owl gives you a bonus D20, unless I'm mistaken, right? Because of the hunt. Yeah, on survival
Familiar. Yeah.
tests.
Yep.
And because you're winterborn, your difficulty drops by one. If you're in a wintry area.
She turns to Sir Decius. Freidenhofer and I, we were born of the north. We will find you your quarry.
Time is of the essence. Hyperboreans will secret her away, and she'll disappear in the slave markets of Zamora or Set or some other hellhole.
She like kneels down with the bird perched on her arm, and she like rips an eyeball out of like the nearest guy, and she's feeding it to the owl. And
Dark.
That's hardcore,
Um,
man.
and it's like gulping it down, right, like a bird of prey in like one gulp.
Ooh.
And she pets her. I'm sorry. And then when it's done, she like throws her up in the air, and like she takes flight, and she says, "Follow me." And she begins to make her way out of camp.
All right.
I need my horse.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Let me go get that horse. Let me go get those horses.
I
good
personally
call.
see Ulrich riding the world's smallest horse. I just think that's a comical thing. All right.
like a mule. His
That's
feet are like dragging on the ground. Have at you!
I do have a mule.
Waving his two-handed sword over his head.
right. When the horse gets tired, Ulrich picks the horse up. All right. So mechanically speaking, roll a survival check.
Okay.
You get 3 dice for this because of your owl. This was supposed to be difficulty 2, but you're winterborn, so it becomes difficulty 1.
Okay.
Oh, and the scene did end, so your momentum dropped by 1 to 7, which doesn't matter because Maleki's about to get you um, a whole bunch. Ooh, one success with a complication.
Hmm.
Okay, so you succeed. Um, you succeed. You track. You follow your owl to a location several miles to the north, where it's quite obvious that a band of Aesir were ambushed by Hyperboreans. There's several 3, 4, 5, 6 dead Aesir here, all of them men, and one shield maiden. Uh, it is quite obvious that the Hyperboreans took captives and led them off to the northeast.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, snow has begun to fall again, and the tracks are starting to be hidden.
All right, so we're picking through this camp. I see her sort of doing like the Aragorn thing, right? Like kind of crawling along the ground, and like looking
Don't
off
kick any
towards.
helmets.
Yeah, right. Uh, like sort of looking off. You said in the north.
Yeah, the
To the north?
they the tracks head off to the northeast,
Okay.
quickly disappearing under heavy snow.
Okay. She relays this information to the group, and then
Would you
is the
say?
snow? Oh, go
Would you say that we have no time to lose?
Oh God.
ahead. Amazing. Um, is this snow such that we need to take shelter, or is this just sort of a
No, no, it's not that bad.
okay?
Not yet.
Yep.
Um,
My bird, she has lost the trail under the fresh snow, but we can push forward, and undoubtedly they will make themselves known to us. At which point, the two of you can cut them in half.
so looking at the map of Hyboria, you guys are roughly here because you came up through the mountain passes of Samaria, and it the trail heads this way towards the mountains in the distance.
What time is it? Uh,
Um, a, it is getting very late in the day at this point.
Perhaps we should make camp and give these men a honorable send off. Hello, you there? Anybody?
Yep. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I got you. Somebody cut out for a
Oh,
second.
maybe it was me.
Me.
She's basically asking if whether you want to make camp so she can do sort of a rite of Ymir over these guys and Shield Maiden.
Well,
And
I think we should out a game.
mhm.
What's Hachiman? What are the mechanics for
For healing.
healing?
Well, none of you took any wounds,
Correct.
so by definition, your stress, your stresses, your vigor, and your resolve pretty much just come right back.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Cool.
yeah. So if you took any damage, make sure your health goes back to normal. The basic idea is after combat, you guys probably take a few minutes to catch your breath, and you're not seriously injured.
But obviously, wounds you have to deal with somehow.
Yeah, wounds are a different ball game. Wounds have a direct impact on your wounds and traumas have a direct impact on the difficulty of your rolls. Also, if you receive five of either, you're dead. Um, they can be healed during the game from the standpoint of decreasing their impact on your rolls, but they still are there. They can only be healed in between adventures over a period of time.
Gotcha.
So, all right. So you guys make camp for the evening, and Maleki is doing some Aesir burial rites. Is that what's going on?
Yeah. She's got this. I'm just going off her character generation here. She's got like a couple religious items from her mother. I assume which are of Ymir, and she's doing like rites to uh, you know I don't know, speak words over the dead. I don't know what the ritual is in up here, but maybe she's not even burying them, but just giving them the piling them up, burning them or something.
Yeah.
Oh well, I don't know if we want to do that though because of the fire.
Oh,
Yeah, fuck it.
and build a burial cairn over them.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
it would be very fanciful, the idea of the Viking burial with the burning boat, except Asgard is landlocked, so that doesn't quite work. The Veneer probably could pull that off, but
right. Well, it's kind of rocky terrain, so there's, if I'm
it
right,
is correct.
so we just pile a bunch of rocks on them.
Okay.
Okay.
Um, all right. So we'll montage that unless anybody's got anything else they want to add to that.
Nah. Let's get on with it.
All right. Waking up early in the morning. Obviously the
Actually, I'm sorry. I couldn't hit unmute fast enough.
go ahead.
So I'm looking at the reinforce. Well, here it says reinforced fabric. You can reinforce armor from cloth to metal and provide additional +1 armor soak for a single location.
Correct.
Um, I'd like to, while we're in camp, I'd just like to do that for one of the other characters. I
Okay.
don't know if somebody is weak. We were talking about somebody's head at one point, not having no armor, and
Well, Ulrich took the whip to the neck.
right. So I don't know, but this will give you an additional +1 armor for a single location, and I just have to do an alchemy test. I don't know if anybody's interested.
An
Well,
additional, you do alchemy to give it additional armor.
Yeah. So
Okay.
it's reinforcing whatever part of the body you would want to get an additional +1. If
Ooh.
anybody thinks they have a weak spot that needs to be plussed up before we go chasing these guys.
Zarkosa's covered in weak spots.
I am, but I already reinforced my sorcerer's cloak, so I've got that.
So
No,
what's everyone's armor?
Well,
We know Decius is pretty good. What about Maleki? What's your armor look like?
I've got brigandine and a helm, but I don't have sleeves, which I feel is very appropriate for a Viking, but and an archer at that.
yeah.
But if I take one to the arm, I guess I don't want to be an
So
armor.
you're so the armor on your arms is 0,
That's right.
but your torso is 2.
Torso 2, head 3, legs 2.
Okay.
Yeah, so maybe I'll just do this. I am wearing stuff. 0 is naked, is that correct?
It has no armor value. You're
No
obviously
armor
not
value.
naked, but it has no armor value.
Right, so sturdy travel garb would not do anything for me. So for my head, I'm assuming I have a cloak that I could put over my head. So I'm gonna go ahead and no takers here. Then I'm gonna reinforce my head here. So I'll do the alchemy roll.
Okay, so it's a torso is difficulty 2. Other locations are difficulty 3. So on your alchemy roll, which is what based off intelligence,
Yep.
you would need 3 successes, which is a big number with a difficulty of 13. You do have 7 momentum if you wanted to spend any of it for additional dice.
Okay. Well, that doesn't sound fun. We'll end up getting a complication in an avalanche or some shit. So I will forego that right now. So
Oh, okay. All right, that's fine.
you could go ahead and montage forward.
Okay. All right. Very good. Yeah, you might need to work on your alchemy ability a little bit, perhaps. But we can talk about that in the future. All right. So the uh, Maleki, go ahead and make another survival roll. Um, Again, this one would be difficulty 0, so I can just tell you the answer if you want, or you can roll if you want to try to gain momentum or risk adding complications. Up to you.
Yeah, let's have some fun. Let's roll
All right. So,
with the bird.
in this instance, no, not with the bird,
Okay.
and
No
you can
bird.
use survival or lore, whichever's better. But I think your survival's better.
Yeah, I think yeah.
Oh, okay.
Right.
So you did have a success, but you did create a complication.
Well, when in Rome.
Yeah, that's right. I'm just going to take the doom on that, putting me back to 12. Um, so while you've lost the trail while you could see it, it was running very steadily east northeast, and it was heading directly uh, for one of the gates that connects Asgard to Hyperborea through a mountain pass. Am I here?
Oh, sorry, I was on mute.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So she's like kind of crouched down in the snow and like doing something impressive, looking rangerish. Maybe fucking with the group a little bit. Like she takes a little bit of snow and like smells it, and and she like stands up and looks back at the group and she says, "They make for the gate for Hyperborea."
Duh.
And
Be nice.
what's the distance on it? Do I have any idea?
From where you guys are on horseback, probably less, probably 4 or 5 hours. Be there by midday.
We could be there by midday on horseback. What say you?
Well, it's a good thing we're on horses then. Let's go.
All right. She loads back up on the horse.
as you ride the snow begins to fall less heavily. It becomes just a very light, a couple light flurries, nothing heavy. Um, the mountains loom closer, and you the terrain gets hilly and rockier. You know where this is, Maleki. You know exactly what you're heading for. Uh, there is there's a short pass that goes between the mountains in this point. And at one point long ago, the Hyperboreans built a wall that sealed off the pass. And within it, they set a gate. And this gate now looms, 20 feet over you. It is an enormous skull, the gate itself, with the open
Wow.
mouth being how you pass through. And there are runes carved into the forehead of that skull, but I don't think any of you speak Hyperborean.
Now, out of curiosity, is this like a huge, well guarded uh, castle fortification here? I mean, is
No,
this
there's
like
no guards
something?
at all.
Okay.
Um, who's got a good lore ability? Who would want to make a lore roll?
I'm
Um,
pretty good. I think I got 13. Let me look.
yeah, you got me beat. I'm an 11.
Lore. I just rolled that earlier. That's
Not
under
exactly
intel.
Ulrich's strong suit.
Yeah, no, actually, target number is 15.
Nice.
Yeah, so just go ahead and roll that straight.
Yeah, go ahead and make your roll. Two successes, and actually, no, that's three successes because you had a critical success,
Mm.
which very good. So, Zarkosa, you're from Zamora,
Hmm.
obviously, and Hyperborea just barely bordered Zamora on the northern edge, where
Hmm.
it meets Brythunia. Zamora suffers from Hyperborean raiders, just like Brythunia and Asgard do, and so do the border kingdoms. You know that Hyperborea, while it does have a it does have a king. Um, it does have a king whose name I will find for you in just a moment. Um, it's not really a cohesive kingdom like Aquilonia or Nemedia. It's really more a King Tomar is the king of Hyperborea. It's really more of a an association of fiefs or barons or lords that all more or less owe their allegiance to King Tomar, but they don't really have a cohesive military or that type of system. So, as a result, there's not really going to be anyone guarding this gate because none of the lords really feel like it's their responsibility.
That's so amusing.
Yeah. Okay, good stuff.
All right. So, yeah. Um, I don't know. You relay
I'm
this to
not
the
eating it. You eat it.
group? uh, I assume you relay this to the group, uh, Zarkosa?
Educate us.
Sorry, I should have. I need to get a different mute button. They used to have here for the game system. Wasn't the tilde button unmute and mute in the past?
It was, yeah.
Yeah, and
Interesting.
nobody's able to have it worked out yet anymore. So okay, sorry about that. Yes, I relay it to the group.
Um,
It'll
so
be very
Mileki
unlike.
has been sort of, I think it's fair to say, she's been kind of bullying you along this whole trip a little bit because she doesn't like sorcerers. But
Hmm.
she kind of softens a little bit, and she says, "Your grasp of history is impressive, Warlock." And
He gets embarrassed and it says very quiet thank yous and looks away
hmm,
down in his shoes.
A
I've
girl's
never,
talking to me.
um, um, I have never been beyond this gate. Has anyone else?
I think that's probably a no.
That is a no.
Yeah, I'm thinking. I,
Hmm.
I don't have any.
What
Ulrich has
lies
a mystery.
beyond is a mystery.
Well, I'm most glad to have you with me. And she like knocks an arrow in her bow, which I think is like in her lap as she rides the horse, and I think she presses on.
Oh, we forgot to do something, by the way.
Hmm.
We forgot to do something because you expended one load when you were fighting, and we did not roll to see if you recovered that load. Um, Give me one moment
Oh, okay.
to remember that, to track down that rule and remember how that works.
Doesn't it happen automatically after about 15 minutes?
Um,
Depends on how old you are.
Jesus,
Thank you. That's where I
killing
was
me.
going.
um, wow. That's,
I mean, how mature do you think I am?
yeah, well,
I feel like I've been very straightforward about this since the beginning.
Okay, complication automatically makes it lost, which that wasn't a problem. Oh, for God's sakes, loads can be recovered the same way as shots. Oh, Jesus. Come on, guys. Can't you just make it easy for me and just explain it so that I don't have to go looking through 30 different things to figure that out?
Yeah,
Um,
there's a cardinal rule to documentation that I used to follow, and that is don't have the same stuff in two different places. You run the risk of contradicting yourself.
yeah, yeah. All right, hold on. Let's just go to the blah 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 blah. Somewhere around that spot right there. I know it's just a simple roll. I just don't remember which roll it is the problem, and I don't want to screw it up. I don't know if it's. I just don't know what it is. I'm sorry. I should have been prepared for this, but it's one
I
of
mean,
those.
I mean, not remembering the rules for recovering arrows is pretty far down on the list of important shit. So
Well, I
don't worry
appreciate you
about that.
saying that.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh,
is it?
I haven't read the book at all, so
Just swing it, Marty. We're good with whatever you decide.
yeah.
Yeah. Let's just until I can figure out what it is. Let's just do an wait a minute.
Devons or something.
Whoa.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, blah blah blah. Once the character please do blah blah blah. At the end. Oh, okay, perfect. Roll 1d6.
Okay.
If you roll a 5 or 6, the load was damaged and can't be recovered.
Ooh,
Okay, so put your loads back up one.
I feel invigorated.
Your quiver is full, and you can take that to mean whatever you like. Uh,
My
all right.
eyes are floating.
So you guys pass into Hyperborea. As you cross through the mountains, it's amazing how, even though Hyperborea is far off to the north, much like Asgard and Vanaheim, that the territory here is completely different. The mountains fall away behind you to reveal rocky, sloping, rolling hills as far as the eye can see. And when we say rocky, there is very little vegetation in across this land. It is very desolate. Some sparse grass here or there, a small bush or a tree. But as you look across, you don't know how anyone could even survive here, much less form this vast kingdom. There is there is no one as far as the eye can see. It's not snowing here, but there is cloud cover overhead that blocks out the sun, casting a pale gray light across this desolate land.
It is unsettling, is it not? And she's gonna like maybe get down from her horse and try to track or get a direction.
Okay. Um, all right. I will go ahead and make your survival roll.
Okay,
Um, pardon me. I'm not going to let your Winterborn take effect on this, but you can gain the bonus die from the bird.
gotcha. All
Um, so that'll give you 3d20. And holy mother of God,
right. It's a big bird.
Jesus,
Nice.
4 successes total because that one is a freaking
Wow.
critical success. Um, wow, yeah, wow is right. Uh, they're small signs. They are very small signs. Without, I mean, tracking someone in snow is easy,
Hmm.
comparatively speaking. Even tracking someone through the woods, but across this rocky, gravelly terrain across which there's nothing, this is difficult. But there are signs. There are signs. Uh, an impression in the side of a slope where a foot slid. Uh, uh, um, dislodged rocks, that type of thing, and they head to the north. Your map wise, you guys are like right here, and the 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 signs head to the north. Additionally, your uh, you see your owl far off in the distance, and you hear that telltale sound that it's found something.
So she's sort of like leading her horse, on foot and like looking at these different signs, and she sort of boastfully in her Aesir way is sort of like showing the group. Like she'll point out like the slip on the mud to Ulrich, or like the rocks to Decius, right? And point it out like she's hot shit. And then then she like gets back on the horse and like she hears the owl cry. She looks back at the group and she says, "They are to the north and they are close. It is time to draw steel."
All right, folks.
Anybody?
Well,
I'm all about drawing steel, sure.
me too.
Oh yeah.
But first,
I'm just looking at
I
the
will
time.
ready a
How are
lamp.
we for time?
It's noon my
11 o'clock.
time.
Oop, yeah.
Yeah, who's got a hard stop at what time?
Not me.
Not me, actually.
I'm good all day.
Light day today.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm good for a bit.
I've got some
Okay,
things to
let's kill something.
accomplish, but yeah. So you guys ride north, and you're going up and down these rocky slopes into gullies between hills. You crest a hill, and uh, off in the distance, probably 2 miles down into a small valley at the base of the mountains, you see. Do you guys see that?
Ooh, yeah.
Um, may not be nighttime yet, but just go with it.
Hmm.
There is a forbidding tower in the distance. Um, from the battlements are you see what looks to be a standard showing a red skull.
Well, that's a subtle hint.
Not- I do not like
Uh,
the look of this foul place.
Reminds me of that skit. Are we the baddies?
Yes.
The skulls.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Would
Stone,
a
stone tower, right?
would a lore roll here be in order?
Um, you can roll it, sure. You can certainly try.
I love that T-shirt.
Wow. Wow. I was calling that a difficulty 3, and you pulled that shit off because you rolled two
Wow,
successes with a critical.
Oh,
nice.
nice.
Um, Not sure why you didn't before, but now you do. You recognize it. You recognize that standard. It is that tower must be the tower known as Sigtona, and its lord or its ruler or what have you is a woman by the name of Queen Dusana.
Oh, I hate her.
Mm.
Why you know so much about her, I don't really know. Something you came across at some point when you were studying Hyperborean civics or something. I don't
Right,
know.
exactly.
That's about the limit of what you know about her, but she does use the title of queen, which is a little abnormal. Usually, there's no strict system of order. Usually, the Hyperborean lords use slightly lower level names so as not to piss off their king, but for whatever reason, that's what she goes by.
Well, Mileki is very impressed by this. That's pretty awesome. She's feeling pretty good about the nature of this expedition, given everyone's like incredible expertise. So she says, Zarkosa, would a frontal attack be in order, or should we
A
use
cow
stealth?
gets catapulted at you. Oh, sorry. Ooh, boy.
These things I don't know. He starts to turn red and again looks down and don't look at the pretty girl. Don't look at the pretty girl. And he goes, well, I think that you guys know what kind of an attack would be best. I've watched you fight, and you're skilled, and um, I'm just glad I could provide information.
Well, I for one am ready for anything. And she's got her bow in her hand, and she says, "Do we treat with them, or sneak in and kill them in their sleep?"
Let us attempt to gather more intelligence of this place. Can they see it, by the way, out of character? Can they see us from where they are?
Well, it's a couple miles away, but since you asked the question, you kind of look off that direction and make an observation roll.
Okay. This won't be good.
You were right. It was not good. Your target number is 6. It's a good thing Decius is pretty.
You can't spend the amount of time that Decius spends looking in a mirror and be called observant. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, you're just paying attention to one thing only.
um,
Poor Decius. He has a golden heart, but not as gold as his locks.
that's right. That's right. Um, well, how about someone with a good observation? Go ahead and make an observation roll since you're all standing there looking at this tower in the distance.
Okay, let's take a look here. No pun intended.
Perfect. Way off in the distance, there are riders approaching. A lot of them.
How many?
In our direction.
Yeah, coming from the tower. You see them crest a hill.
How many?
Oh, 20?
Is there 20 of them?
Hmm.
Armored? Armored men?
Hard to tell at this distance.
And they're coming right for us.
Oh yeah.
So is there a ravine or some place that we could ambush them from?
Um, you can certainly try. Yeah, I mean it's hilly, rocky ground, so yeah, you can try to set something up like that.
Like, could we potentially cause a rock slide or use the natural formation to our advantage?
Um, I wouldn't necessarily say you could cause a rock slide, but you could try to create a situation where you're hidden if that's where you're going with it.
Well, I was going to try to turn the tables on this, but
Yeah.
if that doesn't lend itself.
But how
Mieleki
do
looks
we
at it.
hide the horses?
No, we wouldn't.
Yeah.
I mean, you and I could stay in the middle here and have the other two spring the trap, but I mean, if it's not conducive to that, then we have to hide or run. Oh, I see what you're saying. If we're just trying to hide, how would we hide the horses? Yeah, I don't know that we could. We just have to turn around and
So
run.
if your goal is for you to stay on the trail and lure them in so that we can spring from the sides, I'm all for it.
Yeah, but if there's nothing here that we could use to force multiply, then there's no real point, right? Like if we're just
That's
fighting
true.
from higher ground, they probably have archers in their midst too, and spellcasters and all that shit. So
Well,
they're off
Mieleki
just
looks
running.
at Zarkosa and she says, "What is in your bag of tricks, boy?"
Well, if they can come close enough, I can set them on fire, freeze them, or strike them down with lightning. But that's only the gods have favor.
Well,
Make a. Who has a good observation? Who's good at
uh,
observation?
that was me.
Not
I was 14.
Okay. Why don't you make an observation roll? And someone can make a helping die if one of you wants to help as well. You can roll one die against your observation. Not that Maleki needs it with a success. So, there is a as they're starting to get closer, as they cover the distance, they're coming hard. Watch that language. As they charge across the distance straight towards you, you can see that someone in their midst is also carrying the banner with the red skull on it. But underneath that banner is also a white banner.
Hmm. Seems as though they wish to treat with us.
A parlay, eh?
Well, in that case, let's stand here and prepare to receive them, and let's secret Zarkosa and Maleki into ambush positions up high so they won't get attacked if it comes to it.
Okay.
Suck
Sir
in the guts,
Decius and
guys.
I will intimidate them.
That's right.
Yes, Ulrich, drop and do 20 push-ups. Get a pump going.
um, all
All I
right.
have to do is toss my mane, and I'll save that for when they come around the corner. I'm not gonna just do that and waste it.
Oh God. Oh God. Whenever we get there, Decius is going to try to seduce the dragon. I can see it. Um.
Oh no!
Um. Yeah. All right. So as you ready yourselves, they cross the distance. As they start to come closer, they slow. They stop on another hilltop, probably 40, 50 feet away from you, and a rider comes forward a few feet from the rest. They are armed and they are wearing armor. They're wearing leather armor, basic leather light armor stuff. Nothing major. But they do carry weapons, um, uh, swords and clubs, the like. And there are some bows mixed among them. The man who walked his horse forward a few steps, he calls out his in Aquilonian. Though it's his consonants are very harsh and guttural, as is the Hyperborean language. Um, he says, "Hail, riders from the south! What do you in Queen Dusana's lands?"
Decius will walk Buttercup forward just a few steps. And he will say, "Hail, riders from the keep." Um, Jeez, what shall we say?
Prepare to die.
Prepare to die. Yeah, that would be awesome. Hilariously short-lived, but very funny. Um, our business is our own. We wish to talk to the mistress of that tower.
What does the southwestern king want of my queen? And he kind of he looks at your he looks at your black lion standard.
Um, yeah, I don't know how much we could trust this guy. You know what I mean?
Sure. I mean, I don't know what we could possibly bargain for. I mean, because we want the bride or whatever, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's not going to be a.
I mean, you can ask. Uh,
We seek something that was lost, something that may have come this way.
He well, I guess there's no real role necessary because you're not trying to persuade him. It's just you're stating a fact from your own point of view, to be sure. Um, he nods. He says, "Very well. I shall escort you to Sictona, and you may have an audience with my queen. Can I trust you Southerners to keep your honor?"
Oh, that's rich. This is the guy who clubs people over the head and takes them as slaves. You may trust to the honor of the Lion of Aquilonia.
As you say that, he probably eyes Maleki and Zarkosa, realizing they're not Aquilonian. But
Oh, he sees them? I thought they were hiding.
oh, you're right. They were hiding. I apologize. You're right. Let's make a roll.
I'm painted in that black and white war paint from the movie Conan
That's
the
right.
Barbarian.
He uh, he says, "Were there not more of you? My lady thought she saw more from afar."
Odysseus will make a motion with his hand. I guess the jig is up.
Hmm.
So you guys can
So
come out if you want. I know you're here.
Maleki like slowly stands up with her bow down from whatever ledge she's on, and she nods at the gentleman that Decius is talking to.
All right. He says, "All right, follow us. We shall take you to Queen Dusana."
Can we
Um,
tr- can
Go ahead.
I ask the same question of you? Can we trust your honor? You are many. We are few. We could be walking into a trap.
If my queen wanted you dead, you'd be dead already.
Well, that's an interesting supposition. Much easier to say than to do.
I love that.
He smiles slightly. He said, "Brave words from a big man.
Well, let me
Regardless,
say that my honor is true, but I live by the brass rule, and that is treat others as they demonstrate to you they should be treated. So, as your honor holds, our honor will hold. That is my word.
he probably cocked his head for a moment when you were talking about the brass rule and trying to
Have you
trying
not
to
heard
wrap
of this?
trying to wrap his brain around it. But as you finish, he simply nods silently. And he turns his horse and starts to head towards the tower. The rest of the riders separate and wait for you all to fall in behind him.
Yeah, I will come down the ledge and stay close to the boys. I think she's also trying to be a little protective of Sarkosa too.
Gotcha.
Uh,
Where's your fine feathered friend, by the way?
oh, she's up and about, I imagine.
A speck in the sky.
Speck in the sky. Yeah.
And
Um, can I get from you, Ulrich, just Ulrich, would you please roll a discipline roll? And I thought
That's interesting. What's a discipline roll?
discipline is under
it's under willpower.
willpower.
All the
Yeah.
way at the bottom right of your sheet, above magic. All right, so my target number is an 11.
Yeah. Now I think you have. Yes, you do. You've got a talent called courageous,
I do.
which allows you to re-roll a d20, a single d20 on a discipline roll. So
Correct.
let's see what your roll looks like, and we'll go from there. You had two successes. All right. Well, okay
No
then.
need to re-roll anything, I guess, huh?
No, not really. You can't get much better than that. Um, you you can't quite explain it. You've never felt. It's just for a moment you got an odd sense that someone was, and I wouldn't even say watching you, almost as if someone or some presence was hovering over you. If you've ever had that feeling where you've been asleep at night and maybe you were laying on one side and you felt like there was somebody behind you, but you turned over and there was nobody there. It was kind of like that. It was very strange, very bewildering.
Creepy.
I've not felt this presence since.
Does it feel as if a million voices just cried out in pain
Terror, terror.
and terror? Sorry, not that into Star Wars. I apologize.
Okay, you were close enough. We all knew what you were doing. We so as you guys fall in behind the lead rider, uh, the other 20 men or so kind of fall in on your flanks and behind you. You know, obviously keeping an honor escort around you. Surely that's what that's about. The tower has a single massive black iron banded door. A tower set down into a small valley off the hills, and there's a few support buildings behind it, and the leader dismounts and calls for the rest of his warriors to dismount. He says, "Obviously, the horses cannot go inside. They will be well cared for in our stables."
I expect it to be well cared for. This is my favorite horse.
He he looks at you and then he doesn't really say anything. He just nods.
Of course, I lean over to Mlecki and say, "Of course, it's my only horse."
Awesome.
Um, he leads you to the large door and he uh, pounds a huge black iron ring. Go ahead, somebody.
What knockers?
There you go. All
Young
right.
Frankenstein. Oh, thank you, Doctor.
You
So
hear the horses whinnying in the background?
I was just looking at my talents and something popped out. I have something called honest corruption.
Hmm.
It says when, which is weird name for talent. But when dealing with an NPC for the first time, you may make a free D2 thievery or counsel test to determine the trustworthiness of the NPC.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
So when in dealing with it, I think the whole party's dealing with this NPC. So I
Yeah,
don't know
yeah,
that I
yeah,
have
yeah.
to have a
Yeah, I'll give you
conversation,
that.
right?
Sure.
Okay.
how does
So
it work?
I'm not sure.
Counsel is personality. Thievery is what? Agility? What's thievery under? Thievery's under awareness.
Awareness, where's that? So thievery, I have a target number of 9, but for counsel, I have much better. I
Yeah.
have
All right.
so yeah, let's do that. See
Yeah.
what happens with that.
So 2 dice, difficulties 2.
Okay.
You guys have. Ooh, I had to reduce momentum for the scene change. You guys do have 8 momentum if you wanted to spend
Yeah,
2 for a die.
let's do that before we go through this big door.
All right, so that puts you
Um,
at a 6 momentum, and roll 3 dice.
3 dice.
You have a success with a critical, so you actually have. Why is my hovering over not working? So you actually have 2 successes,
Uh-huh.
and it was difficulty 2, which is what you needed. Um, Generally speaking, yeah, everything he seems to be telling you is truthful. He's clearly on guard to an extent, but doesn't seem to be misleading you in any way.
Okay. So I whisper this over to Maleki, who I guess I'm still the closest to physically,
Hmm.
and just say it seems as though these should be trusted at least in the short term.
Ah,
That's a cool
that's
talent.
unfortunate.
Yeah, right.
Well, and Ulrich says sideways through his mouth, and yet back on the pass, it felt like it felt strange, like there was a presence there with us and watching us, but not. Let's keep our
Hmm.
eye on this queen, whoever she is.
Indeed.
This place reeks of dark sorcery.
the uh, the door creaks open, and it looks like the entire lower level of the tower is one giant room. There's a staircase that spirals up the side, and also spirals down as well. Um, the Hyperborean leading you says, "We shall go upstairs to meet with Queen Dusana. Follow me." And he starts up the steep steps, which of course do not have a handrail, because why would they? We don't believe in handrails.
No building codes back then.
That's right.
No, no OSHA.
The steps are wide, though. They're wide enough for 2 people to walk side by side, assuming one of them isn't afraid of heights or doesn't get dizzy. As you go up the steps, you pass a couple levels. You enter a another chamber, which is one large room. There's a uh, there's a gilded throne on the far side, uh, sitting on a raised dais with a red carpet that leads. There's also a huge round feasting table in the middle. And there are a number of rather downtrodden-looking servants moving in and out from doors from the sides, bringing food to this table. The Hyperborean that's been leading you this whole time uh, says that he says Queen Dusana will be here shortly. In the meantime, we have food. Feast with us. And they don't even wait for you to say or do anything. There's 6 or 8 of them, and they all select chairs around the table and sit down and begin serving themselves, different questionable meats and vegetables that you may not necessarily recognize from your homelands.
Hmm.
Your ways are different to us. Should we not await the pleasures of your queen?
my Queen Dusana has already dined. She is handling some business and she will be here shortly.
Very well.
Well, Ulrich's starving. He's gonna move
Of
over to
course
the
he
table.
is.
He's gonna walk over to the table and sit down and start helping himself. In his lifetime, he's eaten all types of questionable meats.
In some ways, he is a questionable meat.
Having survived on various, you know, cats and dogs and rats and squirrel, it looks very tasty to him.
When a man has to consume 14,000 calories a day to keep going, he learns to eat what he finds.
Well, Malecki looks around nervously and then like watches Ulrich biting into whatever, and like pulls up the seat next to him and begins poking through.
Yeah, and the Hyperboreans are eating from the same food Ulrich is serving himself from. So there's a servant that comes through with two different jugs.
We got knockers, we got jugs.
Clears one is clearly one is some kind of northern wine or mead, perhaps you're not sure, and then the others probably a dirty, questionable water.
Meat it is.
Ulrich, yeah.
I imagine there's no conversation around the table as everyone's just sort of like.
Yeah, these guys aren't much for conversationalism, that's for sure. And you're pretty sure only the one even speaks a language you all are familiar with.
Malecki's scarfing a turkey leg or whatever, but is like looking up around at everyone just to keep an eye on people.
Does it appear that they're drinking from the same pitchers of stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Malecki, make an observation roll, because you said that.
Okay.
That'll teach you.
Yeah, 2 successes, perfect, fine. You happen to notice that one of the Hyperboreans off to the left, just one of these random mooks, was kind of looking at you, and as you glance around and you catch his eye, he says something in a language you don't understand to the guy next to him, who restrains himself from spitting his food out as he laughs.
I make a mental note of what he looks like and return to my meal.
This continues on for.
Serdicius will look at the guy that made the joke,
Yeah.
and he will lean over to Malecki and pretend like he's whispering in her ear while looking at the guy. And then he'll start laughing very loudly.
Oh boy. It takes a minute to register, but for one of the first times, you see Malecki with a wide, toothy smile, and with like turkey grease and shit all over her mouth, laughing away.
Ulrich looks up at Decius, holds up his left hand with his thumb and forefinger about an inch apart, looks at the guy, and then nods and laughs as well.
Well, and Narcosa at this point is starting to get really nervous and just pushing food around his plate and trying not to look at anybody.
As we goad them all into a fight.
The Hyperborean, he catches all this going back and forth, and while he doesn't understand anything you guys are saying, obviously, he understands certain universal reactions and hand signals. He kind of snarls in disgust, stands up, throws like a haunch of something half-eaten on his plate, and he goes storming off towards the steps and goes downstairs. A couple of the other Hyperboreans look at him leaving and laugh at his expense as he goes.
I love you guys.
I think we hit a nerf.
It's a guy thing.
It's a
guy
locker room.
thing.
It's a locker room thing.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah.
Poor
I just
guy.
think it's funny. His friends think it's funny. He just got embarrassed. The guys love it when other guys get reamed.
Um, you hear some soft footsteps coming down the steps from the upper level, um, and a voice calls out in the Hyperborean tongue, and the man that's been doing all the talking the whole time, he stands up and he responds, and this woman appears. She looks like that, and behind her are two identical looking men. You guys see that picture, right?
I do. Yeah.
Okay.
Daenerys Targaryen?
Why is this not? There it
With
goes.
Oh, wrong thing.
And
What the
behind her are two identical looking men.
Ooh,
I mean,
this family is creepy.
oh Jesus.
But for the record, Sir Decius will rise.
um,
Likewise, if at watching DCS.
as she comes down, she says in a melodious voice, "Do the emissaries of the Southern King often make fun at the expense of my subjects?"
well, he started it.
She smiles and says, "I'm sure he did. I'm sure he did." She says,
It was just a playful jest.
she lifts one corner of her mouth and says, "I'm certain it was. Welcome, my friends, to my castle, Sigtona. I am Queen Dusana." And she walks across the room. Her eyes take in each one of you, like for a long moment. Lingers on Decius and Ulrich both, and she steps over to her throne and sits down. The two men behind her come and stand on either side, and she says, "These are my sons, Relic and Vedic."
So in the picture, she looks younger than them. Is that how it is in
Y-
this situation as well? She looks younger than her sons.
Um, make an observation roll, since you asked the question.
Oh God.
One success. Um, you get yeah. When she says that they are her sons, it strikes you a little odd because eh, she looks very young. She looks like she is maybe pushing 30 years old. She's fit. She's curvaceous in the right places, et cetera, et cetera. Where they have a bit of an older aspect to them.
Sir Decius says, "My lady surely jests. These cannot be your sons."
She she smiles and she kind of blows air lightly out of her nose and she says, uh, "It is true. I am one of the last remaining of the true Hyperborean bloodlines in my land. My sons, unfortunately, have not shared in the advantages." And you certainly note that they have a little bit of an ill-looking aspect about them. They look older than she is, bloodshot eyes, stuff like that. She has a little bit of that going on too, but she's actually very beautiful.
Wow. What a creepy. Do I know anything about Hyperborean bloodlines, or is that common knowledge, or is that more of a
No, that would be a
Zarkosa?
lore roll.
Okay. Okay. All right.
We are not as civilized as we think ourselves in the south, for we have not heard of the beauty of Hyperborean women.
She she nods in acceptance of the compliment.
Maleki, like you see her eyes like look over at Theseus and then look back.
She says, however, I am familiar with the beauty of Aquilonian men. You strike me as from that southern reach known as Poitain.
My lady's well informed.
The men from Poitain are some of the most beautiful in the world.
Theseus will nod. On the surface, it looks like he's thanking her, but really he's agreeing.
Yeah, that's right. Yes, indeed, you are.
So
This
much
is well known.
skosh of humility.
This is well known, my lady.
Amazing.
And she looks across the rest of you, and she says, she looks at Ulrich. She says, "You, sir, are appear to be quite the warrior. Are you also Aquilonian?"
No, Your Highness, I.
Well, it depends on your point of view, I guess. Because you're a Gunderman, which is part of Aquilonia, but it's definitely the more. Okay. No, we lost him.
Oh, yeah, he dropped off there. I thought in the. Just she looks over and he's gone.
Yeah. Poof. I too can go unseen when I wish, but to disappear completely.
That's awesome.
Um,
I just saw that the other day. The extended cut.
oh yeah. Well, it's the only way to watch it.
What is that from? It sounds so familiar.
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah.
I too
Sorry.
can avoid being seen when I wish, but to disappear entirely.
Yep.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
And I had a dropout. I don't understand. I suddenly had to reboot Roll20.
No big deal.
So I don't know how much you heard. What I was starting to say is, not exactly per se. I am, but I'm not. I'm a Gunderman.
Right. She says, so you were from that more savage part of the kingdom.
Well, it has been trying times.
She smiles and says, I appreciate savagery.
Well, flattery will get you everywhere, Your Highness.
And she then looks at Zarkosa and says, you have the dark aspect of a Zamoran. What puts you with Aquilonian men of the king?
Oh, you're correct, my lady. I am Zamorian, but I'm just a poor orphan who has been allowed to join this party as their squire, and they've been kind enough to look after me since I have left my land.
Squire, eh? Interesting. And an Aesir to round out the group? Perhaps a guide through the frozen north?
My lady is astute. I am Mileki Leplainen, half-blooded, daughter of Klaus, son of Jan. It is a pleasure to enjoy your hospitality in your tower, my lady.
So, what is it you seek that you should come armed into my lands?
Mileki looks over at the knight.
Yeah, I guess we're gonna have to own up to this at some point. We seek the daughter of a friend of our Lord. She has been taken. and we have tracked her by your tower. We wish to know if you have seen her.
Tracked her here.
Not necessarily here, my lady, but to these whereabouts.
I see. I see. And whom was she taken by?
That we cannot say.
Did the raiding party have the Red Skull banner as well? That's
They
what I
did.
remember.
Yes, they did.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Was that mentioned?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys. This is just pure player error on my part. Then
No,
That's
no worries.
somehow I missed that detail
No
in all
problem.
of this. I thought this was a random keep with a red skull. I didn't realize any of that. That would have made a big difference had I been more on the ball. Okay.
Well, we can retcon that slightly.
We're in the shit now.
Yeah, we're big time in the shit.
Yeah, take it back.
Take
Well,
it back. Take it
I
back.
feel like that,
it back.
this is my mistake. I should own it. So I'm sorry about that.
No, it's
Somehow I
okay.
missed
That's
it.
all right. Just we can rewind a few seconds and
Start again.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, I have to think quickly here because I don't know what the fuck to say.
I mean, we might as well just be straightforward about seeking Wulfhere's betrothed. I mean, we're already in the castle.
Yeah, I guess. I mean,
So
yeah.
let's
I mean,
just
we do represent a powerful king, and we are here at the behest of a powerful chieftain. So we could come at her like they made a mistake when they took this particular slave. That might
what?
be our best strategy. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Well, we don't. Yeah. Well, it was a mistake on their part. That's for sure.
That's what I mean.
But
So we could just come out and maybe try to very subtly veil um, that this is a serious problem what they've done, and they
well,
should probably because we can negotiate, right? We
the way
could.
the way I would say it is that we followed a raiding party of the Red Skull. It was on their banners, and normally taking a commoner as slaves wouldn't be a big deal to us, but in this instance, this was not a commoner. It's of some import that this was to be the bride of an important chieftain, and
That
we've
is a good tag.
come to
That's what I
find her.
would say.
So I would take that approach.
Yeah,
But you're
I
the
could.
pretty one.
I could try to make a persuasion roll, but I will. I will speak along those lines. I will tell her that her men have taken a certain captive uh, from the highlands of uh, of Asgard, or what is it called?
Yeah, Asgard.
Yeah, Asgard, and she's the daughter of the ally of her king, and we need her back. So now would be a good time to negotiate with us
All
for her
right.
safe return.
So you're making a persuasion roll on that.
Yes.
All right.
And
Go ahead.
how much
How much
momentum do we have?
6.
Yeah. One
Better
die.
use some. I got a feeling she's resistant to persuasion.
Yeah, I think so too.
It's
Is
2 points per die. You can buy up to 3.
well, maybe just at least 1 point. So that's 1 point is 2 dice. You said
No,
seems like a lot.
it's a slightly different system from
One die
Magic
for
and
2.
Cthulhu.
One die.
Yeah, it
One
costs
die
2
for 2.
momentum for 1 die. Yep.
Get
All right, how
two
about?
dice.
Are you sure?
How much
Because that's
momentum do we have?
6.
6. That's more than that's
That would
2/3
be
of our
4.
momentum.
If we got 2 dice, it would be 4. Well, you
Yeah.
got to get at least 1. She's going to be a tough nut to persuade.
Yeah,
What's your
my
target
persuasion's pretty high. It's 15. So
number? Ooh,
he's very
okay.
persuasive. He's not
All right.
just a pretty face.
But you might need 2 successes, but you've got a good number. So go ahead, get 1 die, I think.
1 die. Okay. Everybody agree? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So 3 dice. Oh yeah, baby.
3 successes.
Nice.
All right. Well, if that's the way we're going to play things.
I hear some doom coming out.
Yeah. Comes the doom.
Um, she cocks her head and says, "I do not take slaves. believe that I or my people took this lady?
We saw the banner of the Red Skull.
She leans her head back and says, "Interesting. I will say it. I have no need for slaves. Perhaps another noble is using my banner on against my without my knowledge."
If that is so, then my lady has an interest in helping us secure this captive, for her reputation is being greatly
Besmirched.
besmirched.
Now that is also an interesting statement. Of course, most Hyperboreans care nothing for besmirching their competitors' reputations. I personally stay out of most of the the political games that my contemporaries play. Let me look into this. Who is this individual again? Do you know her name?
Might as well tell her.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's so and so, daughter of so and so.
Yeah, her name was Freya. Um,
Freya. I don't remember. I don't remember the name of her daddy-o.
Her husband to be is Wulfhere of the
Yeah, we know
Njordler
that,
of
but
the Njordler.
that's a mouthful.
she says, "I will look into it. I will send riders to the nearest lords and see what I can find out. It will take some time. Hyperborea is not an hospitable land, especially to those such as you who are not from here. Uh, I would suggest that you stay the night, and we can discuss this matter again in the morning. I have accommodations."
Your your Highness is quite gracious. We accept your hospitality.
She, she smiles and says, "Very good, very good. Let me attend to matters then and send out riders immediately, and I will meet you here again, say an hour after sunup in the morning."
Odysseus will bow his head.
She she stands and she looks to her two sons, Malek and Vedek. And wait, did I get that right? Shit. I think I said their names wrong.
Yeah, I think it was different, but pretty close.
Yeah, well,
Relic and
that's it.
relic,
Works
Relic,
relic.
for me.
Relic and Vedic. That's it. When you stray away from the PDF. um, and she says something to them in Hyperborean, and they bow their heads. She looks across the room, and the other Hyperboreans that were eating, they stop, stand, and bow to Queen Dusana.
What do you think, Zarkosa? Was she telling us the truth?
That's a good question here.
You have your talent.
I do. Um, how much momentum do we have left?
Two.
That's it.
That's it.
No, we have four
four.
because
Oh,
I
you have
only
four. I'm
used
sorry.
I
You
only
only
bought
used
one
two.
die.
Gotcha. You have four.
Okay.
Correct. I'm sorry.
So use,
Um,
use two. Yeah, go ahead and use two.
okay. So yeah, I'll use two, which brings me up to what you said, 3 dice.
Correct.
All right. So this is. Let me find the talent again. So it's honest corruption. How do I roll this again?
It's
So I use counsel.
council.
Yes, counsel. All right. And that's 3 dice.
Yep.
2 successes.
Two successes with a complication.
Oh,
Ooh.
damn it.
um. Sorry. Hold on one moment. Trying to clear my throat all of a sudden. Yes, she's being honest, but she's holding something back.
So she knows who did it, but it wasn't her.
Or, or she doesn't take slaves. She takes victims.
And we
Oh,
just ate some of them.
No.
oh,
Or maybe she will.
She
Yeah, some weird blood right to make herself look so young.
Well,
she
ooh.
she walks over to the steps and climbs upward and disappears from view. Um,
what
at,
time of day is it?
oh, it's getting into the evening, which has made it dark outside because it
Okay.
does not stay light long here in
Well,
Hyperborea.
I did. You didn't. I don't remember you mentioning that if there were any windows or portals in this tower. So
There are, there are,
okay, all right.
and
I
there's still the last rays of week daylight
okay.
as
I
it.
had this vision that we were, you know, in this tower and it was stone all around and torches and stuff. So it wasn't quite like that. Okay, thanks.
No problem.
She does look like she needs some vitamin D.
Oh,
um, as she heads up the steps, the two sons uh, uh, wait a moment, then they head over to the staircase. The Hyperborean that's been speaking the whole time says in his broken Aquilonian, the when you are ready, they're prepared to take you to your rooms upstairs. They do not speak your language.
Well, no time like the present. If you
Very well.
if you folks have had your fill.
Sir Decius grabs an apple or something like that from the table, thinking of his buddy downstairs that he's going to check up on in a minute.
All right. So they lead you up two levels in the tower and bring you to where's the right freaking. And I'm sorry for this map. Something didn't happen right, and it's all fudged up. But the big white strip in the middle is basically the hallway. I'm not sure what happened with this, but and then there's four stout doors. Uh, they remove a key and unlock each door, um, opening it up, and inside you see large comfortable beds, and each room is well appointed and very very comfortable.
Are there any windows in these rooms?
There are no windows in these rooms.
Okay.
They are completely self-contained. The only entrance in and out is the door.
And these rooms are adjacent to each other, right across the hall.
Correct.
Okay. I think Mileki kind of looks nervously at the group. Is there a servant still there or something, or like
The
within your
the
shot?
two brothers are there.
Oh, the two brothers are there.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, she'll kind of like make eye contact subtly with the guys in the group and nod and like dip into one of these rooms. Um,
Okay.
uh, she doesn't feel very secure here with no way out, and is probably going to sleep with a knife under the pillow. That kind of situation.
All
Well,
right.
same with Zarkosa. His paranoia is really hitting him, and so yeah, he's going to go into the room. And does the door open inwards or outwards?
It opens inwards.
Oh, excellent. So he's going to shove. I don't see a chair, but shove something, a chest or something, in front of the door, and then just sit on the bed and watch it.
Well, we can all be very vigilant, but it's probably unlikely that they mean us harm, considering they could have killed us easily anytime they wanted to.
That's
They
true.
don't need to put us to sleep to do it. They could have poisoned us. They could have shot us with arrows the second we stepped through the doors.
One of Zarkosa's character traits is paranoia. So seriously, it's on his character sheet.
I did notice your name is a play on Carcosa.
Yeah,
That's
right.
So, are we each in a separate room?
Yep.
Does it make sense that we would do that?
Why not? I mean, they've really, according to the rules of chivalry, they've been nothing but like gracious hosts. Like,
Yes, but trust but verify.
Well, they came under a flag of truce, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
All right.
Which they respected.
I did do those roles, and you're a company of badasses that can handle anything that comes in your room, right? So,
All right.
I mean, I'm not saying we shouldn't be like stupid about it, but I don't think that they mean us harm. Otherwise, why would they make this charade last so long?
All right. One of the. You said the door's open inward.
Correct.
Ulrich checks his door to see if he can open it.
No.
Uh,
It seems to be locked.
Oh wow! Like we're locked in.
Yeah.
Oh man!
oh man, where's Henry Baker when you need him?
I was going to go give my horse an apple.
Well,
So
it's
Theseus
also
would pound
impossible.
on the door.
It's also impossible to discuss the situation with each other.
But what was I just saying? That they don't mean us any harm and then they lock us in?
That's for your own safety.
Well,
yeah, you never know.
Theseus will pound on the door and see if somebody comes.
There is no answer.
We'll keep pounding.
Maleki and Zarkosa.
Hmm.
You hear you hear the pounding of Decius. Of course, you may not realize it's Decius, but you're someone pounding on a door. As you're both in your rooms, I guess probably trying to decide on what your next course of action is. The most curious and really rather disturbing sight meets your eyes as a form, an apparition. It almost looks like mist, but then you realize it has form. It has a figure. It's a body. Rises, or actually in this case, I'm sorry. Rises directly out of the floor into your room. This happens
Whoa.
to each of you, and the form solidifies for each of you into one of the brothers. Of course, you don't know which is which because they're completely identical. And they hiss and bear fangs at you, and we're in combat.
Oh shit!
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow!
I thought they looked kind of vampire-y.
Yeah, oh, fucker.
I'll tell you what. It's noon our time.
Yeah. I lost you.
It's noon our time. Do you guys want to see this through, or do you want to pick it up?
Well, I did message that I forgot I had lunch plans. Look.
That's 1:00 my time. That works perfectly. It's a good stopping point.
Okay.
We can pick up right here next week.
Well, I
Awesome.
can't wait to smoke these guys.
I
Assholes. All right,
had a
cool.
lot
That
of
was
fun
fun.
today, guys. Thanks.
I hope they're not like D&D vampires.
Oh,
So we'll be in
You know,
trouble.
yeah, right. It'll be fun.
all right, cool. All right, guys. We'll same ugly time, same ugly channel, the 5th.
Count me in.
Alrighty.
Sounds good.
Yes, Bob.
Thanks, everybody.
All right.
See you guys. Have a good week.
Bye.
Good stuff.